All right, good evening. Kim Baker here with the Faith, Family, and Forgiveness. Coming to you on this Tuesday night as we get back in talking about anger again. And before we get into tonight's study, want to go over just a few announcements, if I could. Okay. You will see there, this is the Faith, Family, and Forgiveness. Okay, but down at the bottom of our screen where it's scrolling, the ticker down on the bottom where it's scrolling, where it says vscministry.com, that is our website. I'm gonna adjust this music just a little bit. That's our website, vscministry.com. If you haven't visited our website lately, go check it out. Okay. Got a lot of good videos, got the study. I've got all of my study material listed on there that you can go and you can download this material, Facing the Fire Inside, or any of the other studies that we do. Okay. All right. Also, okay, if you would like to be able to interact with me or with others, okay, there's a way that you can do this other than through Facebook, and it is called GoTo. Okay, it used to be called GoToMeeting. GoToMeeting. Okay, there is an app that you can download the app if you're using a phone. Okay, but if you are on a computer, if you're using a computer or laptop, okay, this link right here, meet.goto.com/VSC Ministry 12. Okay? If you click on that link, it will take you to our live interactive feed, okay, where you can communicate, you can ask questions, and so forth. So if this is something that you would be interested in, just click on that link or copy and paste it into your browser, and it'll take you right straight to it. Okay, and you'll be able to interact with us and ask questions as we go along. Okay, all right, let's get out of that. We get back into. All right, so we're gonna start out talking tonight right off the bat, talking about wrong beliefs about anger. Okay. Um, yeah, sometimes we think it's oh, I gotta share my screen again. I'm sorry about this. Da, da, da. There it is. I'll get it here in a second. um, but anyway, we think that there's a. Sometimes I don't think we think about that we can have a wrong belief about anger. Okay, but let's look at that tonight. Okay, so one common wrong belief about anger is that it is always harmful. Okay, and it should be completely avoided. Yeah, we think that because we are angry about something, that that's a bad thing, and that is actually not correct. Okay, there are times when we should be angry about things. Okay, the the thing that we have to be careful about is where do we go with that, or what do we do with that anger? How do we react? How do we lash out, or are we lashing out because of the anger? Okay, so here are some few misconceptions about anger. Okay, the very first one is that it's always negative. It doesn't have to be, and it shouldn't be. Okay, because and I'll go back and I'll use the same example that I've used in the past about you're going through a red, you're going through traffic light. You have the green. You're going through. Somebody the other direction runs a red light, hits you. Aren't you going to be upset? Aren't you going to be a little bit angry right off the bat that your car got hit? Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So there's nothing negative about that. Okay. But again, it's what we do with that anger or that emotion after the initial reaction. Okay. The next idea is that this is it's inherently bad or it's always bad. Okay. Now there's really the misconception is the word always. Okay. Because again, it doesn't have to always be negative. But one thing that anger should be is a signal. Okay. When we start getting angry, it ought to signal to us that hey, there's something wrong. There's an issue. We need to slow down, maybe take a deep breath before we before we start reacting. Right? Because that's where we get into trouble, and that's where anger will become and can become sin is when we start reacting. Okay? So it's a signal. What's the signal? There's something needs some attention. We need to attend to something. Okay? That means that that something needs to change. Okay? And one thing that we talk about is that like the your dash lights. Okay? If your dash lights now on a lot of the newer vehicles nowadays, there's usually not a warning light for when your car starts like overheating. Okay, but if that light comes on, okay, that's a signal. It's a signal that there needs to be some attention. Okay, that your car's overheating. So you need to stop. You may need to put water in it. Whatever. There's a change. Okay, we're going from being overheated to a cooler situation. Okay. So number two is that by expressing our anger, that automatically means that we're losing control. No, no. Again, it doesn't have to be. Okay. Expressing anger in a healthy An assertive way is completely different from having, like the fist over here, the uncontrolled outburst. Okay? So if you're under control and you're being assertive, you're not being aggressive, you're not being passive, nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Okay? The third misconception is that anger should always be suppressed. Again, no. Okay? Yes, while unchecked aggression is harmful, suppressing anger entirely can lead to internalized stress and other health issues. Okay? By not addressing it or acknowledging it can actually cause health issues. Okay? All right. The fourth misconception about anger is only certain people get angry. Okay? I've had people before in class, they'll tell me, they said, well, I don't have a problem controlling my anger. I don't get angry, you know. I just don't get angry. Okay. You know, that's what you want to think, and if that's what you want to say. Uh, but here's the issue about anger is that if it's not dealt with, somewhere, somehow, some way, it's going to come out. Okay. It may not come out at the right time. It may not come out towards the right person or the right situation, but it'll come out. It'll come out. Okay. It'll definitely come out. So yeah, this is a major misconception is that only certain personalities or types of people actually get angry or can't control their anger. Okay? Um, Again, I really don't know of anybody that can totally control their anger. Okay, because all of us will fall victim to this at some point or another in our life. Okay, the next misconception is that anger solves problems. Well, if they know I'm angry, then they will leave me alone, or they'll this, or in reality, anger will do nothing but complicate every situation in our life, and it will affect your communication with others. Okay, because here's the thing about this. Okay, when we get angry and we don't do anything about it, if we're not careful, we may something happens, we get angry. Okay, well, we go into, say, a little bit later, we go into a convenience store And the clerk, we go, we buy something to drink, maybe a snack or whatever, and we go up to the counter, and the checkout person, maybe they're sitting there on their phone, because they wasn't busy, so they're on their phone, and you're like, I'm standing here waiting to get checked out. Well, if we're not careful, what happened 30 minutes ago that really made us angry and we didn't do anything about it, we may take it out on an innocent person later on down the road. Especially if we are not very careful about that. Okay? So, yeah, when something happens that make us angry, we need to deal with it at that time. Okay? Does every angering situation deserve to be verbally uh, what's the word I'm trying to think of? How am I trying to put this? But I mean, not every angry situation should be verbalized publicly. Okay? But we need to acknowledge it. Hey, this happened. Yeah, I got I got angry at first, but you know, I took some deep breaths. I calmed myself down a little bit, and I didn't lash out at somebody. Okay, instead of just letting it linger and cause us problems later down the road. Okay. Another misconception about anger is that it is well. Look at them getting angry. What a weak person. What a weak person. Okay. Now, expressing anger sometimes is viewed as a sign of weakness by people. Okay. But in actuality, for you to speak up, and especially to speak up assertively, okay, and that's the key, is being assertive, okay? Absolutely nothing wrong with being assertive, but speaking up is actually a sign of strength, okay? It shows that you are strong enough to acknowledge the situation, but address it accordingly, okay? And that, yeah, you're self-aware. That's what being able to acknowledge it. That's self-awareness. That shows a self-awareness on your part. Okay? All right. Word of God says this: get rid of all bitterness, rage, anger, brawling, slander, along with every form of malice. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you. And that is Ephesians chapter 4, verses 31 and 32. Okay? So, if there are wrong beliefs about anger, what would be a right belief about anger? Okay, so let's look at that for a minute. Okay, the right belief about anger involves understanding that it is a natural and it's a valid emotion. It is a God given emotion. Okay? But not only understanding that, but also recognizing that managing it constructively, okay? To constructively manage it, to be assertive, okay? Not aggressive, not passive, but assertive, okay? So here are some key aspects of a balanced perspective on anger. Number one, okay, your car got hit at red light. That's a valid emotion. That is a valid emotion. Okay, yeah, everybody has a right to be angry initially. Okay, what? You're going to be out of money. Your car's going to be in the shop. You may have to go rent a car. You know, there's a lot of things that goes on with that. Okay, but it's a natural emotion. It's a valid human emotion. But more importantly, it is, again, it's a signal that something needs attention or change. Okay? If somebody does something, if there's a situation that comes up that makes us angry, there's somewhere there needs to be some attention brought to what is going on. Okay? So number two is that anger is a very complex. It is. It's a very complex emotion. Okay? That it is multifaceted emotion. Okay? It can arrange. It has a very wide intensity range. It can have a very wide duration. Okay? It can last for a few seconds to a fairly long time. And the way we express it can vary also. Okay? We can act like, eh, no big deal. Or we could blow up, have a sense of rage. Okay? So, very wide and complex range that this emotion can can vary. Okay. Number three. Oh, yeah, expression. It can be. We can express it in a good way, or we can express it in a bad way. Number three, self awareness and regulation. Okay, by recognizing our anger triggers, it can help us understand the intensity of the emotion. Okay, communication and assertiveness. Okay, learning to express our anger assertively and then respectfully. Okay. And that's what most people do not do. Okay. No, we're either passive about it, we kind of go around the issue and we don't really address the issue. Or we just, or it's the other way around, and we run over people. Okay? We're just over aggressive with it. Okay? So, yeah, assertively, we need to be able to express our anger assertively and respectfully, not aggressively or not passively. Emotional intelligence. Hmm. Cultivating emotional intelligence. What does it involve? It involves first and foremost recognizing. Okay, recognizing, acknowledging. That is the first step in just about any issue. Is us being able to look at a situation and acknowledge, hey, this made me angry. Okay, this this really made me angry. Okay, but recognizing and understanding our anger so that we can make informed decisions. So we're not impulsive. So we don't just fly off the handle. Okay? And this will help us to be able to navigate our relationships much more effectively. Okay? Spouse, family member does something to make you angry. Okay? If you are able to recognize it and understand why it made you angry, then you will be able to communicate better to the person or persons involved on why that it made you angry and your reasoning for it. Okay. Number six, seeking solutions, not escalation. Okay. Be able to address underlying issues. Okay. Why did this make me so angry? Why did you get so angry when I've done this? If we're able to address these issues, not only will we understand it better, but so will the other person. Okay? And then what will happen to our conflicts? Well, when conflicts arise, we'll be able to problem solve better because we're seeking a solution. If that is our what we want to accomplish, uh, you know, if that is our goal, is to seek a solution instead of escalating the situation. Yeah, I mean, we can fly off the handle and say inappropriate things and escalate it to who knows where it may land. Okay, that's easy to do. Okay, but to sit back and try to problem solve and come up with a solution to what happened. But again, if we're not problem, if we don't have the attitude of problem solving the situation, all we're going to do is escalate the conflict. Conflict's just going to get bigger and more out of proportion and out of hand. Okay? And what's it going to do? It's going to cause harm. It's going to harm relationships. Okay? Because once anger takes a hold and we don't address it and we don't do anything about it, then that's when bitterness and resentment will start popping its ugly head up. And yeah, relationships will be uh, basically non existent at that point. Healthy expression and release. Okay? And yes, this is what we need to learn is healthy ways to express and release that anger. Okay? Some ways is exercise. By exercising can help release that anger. Mindfulness, a creative outlet, a hobby can help. Right? And all of these can help you to be able to release what? Your stress, the emotion of the anger. Okay? And which in turn will help you be able to manage it better. Okay? Instead of suppressing it or ignoring it. Okay? If, again, if you try to suppress it or ignore it, you may do it for a while. Okay. You might be able to do it for a while. But like I said, I guarantee you, somewhere, somehow, some way, that anger is going to come out of you. And it probably won't be at a good time, the right time, or towards the right person. Empathy and understanding. Okay. So, what does empathy and understanding have to do with anger? Well, it may help us be able to consider others' perspectives. Okay. Why did that person say what they said? Why did that person do what that person done? Okay. And so how do how the way that we can how can we understand or how can we find out what that person's perspective is on the situation? There's only one way that I know of, and that is through communication. That's asking questions. So, why did you say that? Why did you do that? What caused you to say what you said? What caused you to do what you done? Okay. That's the only way we're going to be able to have empathy towards somebody because maybe somebody took out their anger on them and what they done, they turned around and took their anger out on you. So all it's doing is getting passed around from person to person to person. Okay. It helps us to practice empathy. Ephesians chapter 4, verses 26 through 27 in the NIV translation says this: In your anger, do not sin. Do not let the sun go down while you're still angry, and do not give the devil a foothold. Hmm. Okay, so let's unpack this just a little bit. Why do you think Paul said, "In your anger, do not sin"? Same reason God did, same reason why Jesus said it, and alluded to it, is that they knew we were there's going to things that's going to happen in life that makes us angry. Okay? But they give us a warning. In, okay? That's a do. We're doing something. Okay? Something happened. We got angry. Okay? But Paul is warning us, but do not sin. Don't let this anger get out of control. That's what he's saying. Okay? And again, the old, this goes back to one of the old, what we consider an old wise tale is that, don't go to bed mad, in relationships and stuff. And that's what it's saying here. Don't let the sun go down while you're still angry. Okay? Do something about it. Take action. Okay? But then here comes another warning after that, after he tells us to take action. Here's another warning is that if you don't take action, okay, you got angry. He said, don't sin. Don't let the sun go down. In other words, address it. Because if we allow it become sin and we don't address it, all it's going to do is give the devil a foothold into our life, which may affect us in a lot of different areas, especially spiritually. Okay? So this passage emphasizes the acknowledgement of anger as a valid emotion, but it advises against allowing it to lead to sin or prolonged bitterness. It encourages addressing and resolving anger promptly rather than letting it fester, which could lead to negative consequences or harm. The metaphor of not letting the sun go down on one's anger suggests dealing with and resolving issues before the end of the day and advocating for a timely reconciliation and peace. Somebody makes you angry and you don't address it, you don't do anything about it, are you going to be all fired up to reconcile with that person? Are you going to be just gung ho on having peace between both of you? No. No, you won't, because you haven't done anything about it. So, analyzing your anger involves self reflection and introspection to understand the triggers, to understand your triggers, your patterns, and the underlying causes of your anger. Okay? So, we're fixing to go into a step by step guide. Okay? And right here we are. Well, I'm going to stop right here tonight because I don't have enough time to finish this tonight. Okay? So, yeah, sometimes we won't go a full hour. Sometimes we may go a full hour. Sometimes we may go a little over an hour. Okay? But we're going to stop right here with analyzing your anger. Okay? So, actually, what this is going to be like an anger quiz. Okay? To help you try to figure out where your anger lies. Okay? All right. Again, real quick before we close, the vscministry.com that is scrolling at the bottom of your screen, that is our website. If you've not visited our website, please go check it out. Okay? A lot of good information. Got videos. We got study materials. We got testimonies on there. And I'm still tweaking it a little bit. There still may be a few little changes here and there done to it. But anyway, bscministry.com. Go check out our website. Okay? All right. On Thursday night, right now I'm doing a study of building better boundaries. Okay? So how can you attend? It is not on Facebook. You can only find it at GoToMeeting. Okay? GoToMeeting. If you're using a phone, you can download the app, which would make it really easy, or uh, in your browser, just type in "go to," and it'll take you to the page site. And all you gotta do is type in VSC Ministry, and you can join us. Now on Thursday night we meet at 6:30. We start at 6:30, not 7. Okay, so 6:30 Thursdays, and then we'll see you back here next Tuesday night at 7 p.m. God bless and have a great rest of your week.